Well, it's another week and I have more news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Except for last week, because apparently this guy was too lazy to get his butt out of bed to do some shooting. Yes, it's actually quite embarrassing and not very professional. I hope you guys are doing okay. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, I'm not very good at my job. Thank you for joining me. And today is a beautiful day out to be shooting. It's cloudy, it's not too sunny, and it's nice and cool. And it's gonna storm later on, so I'm just gonna try to get this done ASAP before I get soaked on. But let's say we start with, let's say, Amazfit. So if you remember my recent reviews on their watches, I kind of bashed the company for being same old, same old. I wasn't very impressed with their innovation from their bip all the way to now. If you break down their watches, they really look the same between the GTR and GTS and the T-Rex. They all really perform the same, and I wasn't impressed about that, because if you're gonna upsize or pay more for a certain device, you expect better performance, but you really don't see that. So here's a news bit that kind of confirmed my suspicions about it, because even Amazfit apparently knows that they needed a refresh on their hardware, because they just said we're coming out with a new OS as well as a new processor to help with their future products. And I'm excited about this because their processor, for example, is called the Huangshan 2S, which has an independent GPU, which means it will help with graphical interfaces and, you know, more graphic intensive. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, but if you look at the clip here, apparently there's going to be like a live, some kind of live wallpaper going on thing, and I hope it doesn't. It's not an expensive battery life, but I'm quite sure Amazfit knows what they're doing here. The other thing too is their OS. They say it's self-developed, but I'm not sure if it's going to be built on top of an RTOS or real-time OS. And if you're not sure what an RTOS is, it's basically if you're a manufacturer that's not able to do Wear OS or Apple OS or whatever it is, you're relegated to an open source OS, which is real-time OS. And most smartwatches and fitness trackers you see are some kind of RTOS. Yeah, just knowledge of the day kind of thing. But yeah, if you look at the clip again, they're basically saying that they're redeveloping this and doing their own thing, and I'm not sure if it's going to be built on top of it or their own. But it looks pretty cool. There's too little to go on right now, but I'm excited about the news in itself that they're coming out with new hardware to push out new products. So yes, Amazfit, come on. The other new launch too that came out this week was the new Powerbuds Pro. And if you remember my review on the regular Powerbuds a few months back, I was very excited about it because it's like a fitness tracker in your ear, right? So you can listen to your tunes while it tracks your fitness. And that was a really smart idea. In case you forget your watch or something, or you don't want to have all the bulk and just want to listen to your tunes, you can have that track you. And it had a heart rate PPG sensor in it that was pretty darn awesome. And so the Pro has that. It retains the heart rate PPG, and it also bumps up the battery life to 9 hours now, as opposed to, I can't remember if it was 7 or 8 before. And they say it's also the same sound quality, but yeah, we'll see about that too, and I hope to test it. But I guess anytime you add the word Pro, as I mentioned before, it's just going to bump the price up a little bit more, as well as you're going to have active noise cancellation. And sure enough, the Powerbuds Pro has active noise cancellation. And what they have too, they've added to this weird thing, and think about this, posture monitoring. Yes, apparently if you're hunched back, it'll tell you like, oh yeah, you got to stand up straight, boy, and straighten up. Yeah, apparently that's a thing now. So we'll see how that works. Maybe they'll, you have to implant some kind of sensor between your kidney and spine and your brain, and then they will figure out if you're standing up straight or not. But yes. The next thing I want to talk to you about is from Edifier. And if that sounds familiar, they're a maker of home theater speakers, PC speakers, bookshelf speakers, headphones, earbuds. And if you've owned the brand before, you know they're good at their sonic stuff. They take it seriously. So what caught my attention recently is they have an Indiegogo program for their Neobuds Pro true wireless earbuds. And they claim that there is a high-res certification as well as an LDAC equivalent certification for it called the LHDC, which is not owned by Sony, but still high-res certified. And they also claim that there is, or not claim, but they say there's going to be a noise balance armature built into it, just like the Soundcore Liberty 2 Pros, which I really like. So if that's true, for $89 on Indiegogo, you can see the link down below, that would be pretty darn awesome. And I really like the trend nowadays where headphones and earbuds are getting LDAC and high-res certified, so you can listen to your FLAC files and high-grade subscription services. So that's a good move, and I really like that direction. And if this one holds true for 89 bucks, I think it's gonna be pretty darn sweet. Now, if there is one word to describe the new Pixel 6 phones, I would say it's upsized. Yes, these things are probably the largest it has been in the whole Pixel history. If I remember correctly, the 6P, the Nexus 6P ran at 6 inches, and that was the largest so far. It had a decent, bezel. But now look at the screenshots on these new 6 phones. They have a bezel, it seems like, and on top of that, the screen size for the smaller one is 6.4 inches, made by Samsung. It's a AMOLED, and the larger one, get this, is 6.71. Yes, I know you guys are want to compete with the other flagships, but with the thick bezels, I'm kind of afraid of this. And by the way, the big one is made by LG. The screen, LG, is a P AMOLED, if I'm not mistaken. The batteries, of course, have also got a bump, 4700 something milliamp hours for the smaller one, and a 5000 milliamp hour cell for the bigger one. That's pretty darn cool, and I hope it translates into great battery life. The RAM has also jumped 8 gigs on the small one up to 12 gigs on the big one. Ooh, that's a nice one. And also the camera, we've talked about this in the past, so if you can watch those and hear what I have to say about it. But we know the camera package, and one of it is the 5x optical zoom potentially for the big one, with a 48 megapixel shooter just for that. The main ones for those two are actually 50. And I think this is marketing strategy, guys, because now Google wants you to pay for storage. That forces you really to pay for their storage so you can enjoy maximum resolution from their pictures. Yeah. Smart, huh, Google? Do you guys remember, we recently talked about Carl Pei and his startup company called Nothing, and their earbuds called the Year One that keeps being pushed back and back? Well, they recently launched some specs, I guess, just to keep us satiated for a while. So they said that the Year Ones are going to be sold in the world for $99. Regarding a pound or euro or dollar, it's going to be $99. And for some reason in India, it's going to be sold for $81. You lucky fellas should be counting on lucky stars, yeah? And they also say, Carl says, it's going to be having active noise cancellation to compete with the AirPods Pro. We'll see about that. And also 3 mics per side. And that's about it. No battery life, no what chipset or whatever. So there's going to be more details coming up, I hope. But what I really do enjoy though is the design. If this is true, that they're going to make it like the concept, it's going to be transparent with the case and the earbuds, man, I'm going to be all over it. It's going to be so cool. Yeah, so if this doesn't turn out to be vaporware, it's going to be awesome. But if it does, well, really pretty much this is what my channel is all about, right? Nothing. Jeez. Well, believe it or not, it is the end of this episode. Yes, all good things must come to an end, ladies and gentlemen. And as entertaining as it is to watch this guy ramble on about nothing, the company, I mean, well, I guess my content is pretty much nothing in it. Well, it is time for you, nonetheless, to get off your butts, get off the potty, turn off your phone, and get back to work. Yes, and don't forget to wash your hands too. That's super important. And if you haven't already, also remember to subscribe to this channel. Mash and kill the button down below. Turn on the bell notification icon. Tell your friends and family about it, and just spread the word about Gear Up. And also visit my Patreon page down here. If you're financially able to and willing to, you can buy me a cup of coffee or tea or something. Leave me a tip. It'll be super awesome and super helpful, because I do work my butt off all the time, as much as you can tell. Yes, and remember the thumbs up if you like this video, and comment nicely down below, and do something loving and kind for somebody until I see you the next video. And yeah, you guys take care of yourself. Peace out. Whoosh.